Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how I hacked the Oona sewing pattern from Vikisews sewing patterns to make this fabulous linen summer dress with a tiered skirt. First, we need to find the waistline and measure 15 centimeters down on both the front and back of the skirt. The length of my skirt is 50 centimeters from the waistline. Measure 15 centimeters down from the waistline on the front part. Cut the rest. Measure 15 centimeters down from the waistline on the back part. Don't cut anything yet. After making a muslin piece, I made some changes. I just folded the bottom. Mark the fold and name the parts. I made a muslin. The first tier in the back of the skirt seemed to lift a little bit, and in front it was lower. I made sleeves longer and made them different, to see which kind I like the most. I had the impression that the ruffles on the second and third tiers were much denser than on the first one. The bottom of the sleeves was kind of inclined. After fitting, I decided to make the following changes. To add 3 centimeters in the back. To remove 3 centimeters in front. Ensure to add the necessary seam allowance to all pattern pieces before cutting. I will also make the front section a bit wider to have more ruffles. Split the front of the skirt into several parts and draw vertical lines parallel to the fold line. Make the sections with the same width. Cut, spread, and add pieces of paper behind. I made around 1 centimeter distance between the sections. I will adjust the facing of the front skirt right on the fabric. To calculate the size of the second tier, place the measuring tape on the edge and measure the bottom line without the seam allowance. Multiply the result by 1.5. Now measure the back part without the seam allowance. I made the second and third tiers a bit smaller. Height of the tiers is 15 centimeters. Add a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance on the top edge and a 1 centimeter seam allowance on the bottom edge of each tier, except for the third tier. To calculate the size of the third tier, measure the bottom line of the second one and multiply the result by 1.5. Height of the third tier is 20 centimeters. On the bottom of the third tier, the seam allowance is 3 centimeters. On the bottom of the sleeves, I will make a casing for the elastic, using bias tape, 3 centimeters wide. Measure 1.5 centimeters and draw a line along the bottom of the sleeve. Measure the size of the bias tape, including seam allowances. Along the neckline, I will use bias tape as well. Measure the neckline starting from the center back. Measure without seam allowances. Then measure the sleeve in the front. In the end, add 2 centimeters for seams. For the sleeves, measure and trim 2 centimeters from the side edges. I left the center of the sleeve as it was. When cutting the fabric, I will add 7 to 8 centimeters to the new bottom line to make the sleeves longer. As I am adding ruffles along the neckline, I need to remove 1.2 centimeters from the back and the sleeve. In front, I need to cut 1.2 centimeters as well. The length of my neckline is around 82 centimeters. I will create a slight ruffle, so a 90 centimeter length is sufficient. We need 2 pieces. Pre-treat the fabric with steam before cutting out the pattern pieces. So, we have 2 additional parts to cut from the main fabric: ruffle for the neckline and drawstrings for sleeves. I placed the pattern like this. I could add only 7 centimeters to the sleeve and had to fold one side. Cut these pattern pieces first. I used 1.6 meters of fabric. Close to selvages, you can place drawstrings for sleeves, 3 by 87 centimeters. You can also put the drawstring for the waist, or just put all the straps on the second piece of fabric. This is the drawing of the ruffle for the neckline, 2.5 by 90 centimeters. Don't forget about the seam allowance on the back. I extended the facing 1 centimeter in between. In the center of the facing, there is no seam. Push the pattern to the side. Add 1 centimeter to the first tier of the skirt. The rest of the pattern pieces I placed on the fabric with 2 folds. I used 1.07 meters more. Total, 2.67 meters of fabric, width 150 centimeters. Mark the center of the tiers and name all the tiers on the wrong side. Write 2F for second front tier and 2B for second back tier. On the right side of the first front tier, measure 1 centimeter and draw a line. Mark the top edge of the ruffle with several lines. Mark the top edge of the third tier. Mark the center. Name all the pattern pieces. On the right side of the third tier, measure 3 centimeters. Mark the center. On the bottom, no need to mark the center. On the right side, measure 3 centimeters from the bottom. In part 2, I will show you how I sew this dress. Subscribe not to miss new videos.